Everyone knows about the case between Ripple and the SEC and what happened because of it, but things are changing and XRP is now going to great heights. The SEC is also no longer a threat, which is the best sign ever for the market. Crypto experts think that the price of XRP Ripple coin could reach $10,000. They're sure this will happen. It's not just a story. You really shouldn't miss this video, trust me. Let's jump right in. Nota bene. People in the crypto world are angry at Gary Gensler again because of what he said. Gensler used to be the chair of the SEC. He repeated in a recent interview with CNBC his well-known view that almost all cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin are just risky schemes that will fail. Gensler says that these tokens don't have any real value and are only popular because of the hype surrounding them. Many of them end up being fake. He says that Bitcoin is the only thing that doesn't fit the description of a security. Gensler quickly said that the whole crypto space is full of scams, but John Deaton, who is famous for representing XRP users in Ripple's court case, was just as quick to point out what he sees as clear hypocrisy. It was brought to the attention of the public that Gensler often uses the spectacular failure of FTX to defend his strict enforcement-first policy. But Gensler has never talked about the private talks he has had with Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced founder of FTX. Reports say that Gensler and other officials met with SBF more than once before FTX went bankrupt. The fact that these meetings were never talked about in public, along with SBF's allegedly as high as $10 million in political donations to the Biden administration, has raised concerns about unfair treatment. It was clear that Deaton was curious about whether Gensler purposely ignored FTX, letting it work with fewer limits than other platforms. Mrs. Deaton put it, this selective silence makes people in the crypto community not trust the sex acts and not do anything about FTX. The long-lasting silence has turned into a problem in and of itself. There was a big scam going on in the crypto space, so Gensler should have seen red flags about it sooner, but he didn't, and it became one of the biggest financial scams in recent history. A lot of people in the XRP and crypto community think that the lack of transparency is more important than Gensler's latest warnings about altcoins. Gensler's exit has already caused a change in tone at the SEC, which is interesting. Paul Atkins, the new chair, seems determined to move away from Gensler's harsh style. Atkins said at the Wyoming Blockchain Symposium that not all cryptocurrencies are securities. He said that a cryptocurrency's classification depends on how it is structured and how it works in real life. Gensler's broad view, which put almost all digital assets in the same category as stocks, has been completely changed by that point of view. Even more important, the SEC has announced Project Crypto, a plan to bring securities rules up to date for the digital age. The project's goal is to connect assets like stocks, bonds, and currencies with digital platforms by using blockchain technology in standard financial markets. Even though the change will happen slowly, it shows that the government is finally realizing how important blockchain will be to the world economy. This feels like a turning point for people who own XRP and for the crypto space as a whole. The fact that Gensler hasn't said anything about FTX is still a big mystery, but Atkins' more refined view and the start of Project Crypto suggests that the SEC may finally be changing from being an enemy to a partner. If that change turns out to be real, it could be the start of more open and fair rules that protect investors while also allowing new ideas to grow. This story keeps getting stranger and stranger until you think it can't get any stranger. Of course, the experts couldn't help but just look at some of the most recent posts on social media. Harry tweeted that XRP was about to go up, and XRP Update told fans that XRP is back on track. Not fast, but steady. The more outspoken opinions are the ones that really stand out. Will XRP hit $100 during this surge? That's the million-dollar question that XRP Dragon asked. Let's make that dream come true. And John Squire made it even more exciting by having a personal stake in it. Everyone will be excited when XRP hits $100 and I have $1 million. It won't just be social media hype. Analysts and neighborhood experts are both predicting some shocking events. Some people think that XRP, which is selling around $3 right now, is way too cheap. Some confidence is backed up by the fact that XRP went up nearly 600% between November 2024 and January 2025, which reminded investors of its power to grow quickly and dramatically. Some think it will only go up to $50 or $100, but others are ready to go even further. Eduardo Farina, the head of Alpha Lions Academy, thinks that $100 is a reasonable goal. A small group of very optimistic people think that the value will rise over time to thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars. Xena, who is well known in the XRP community, has one of the most sure sounds. She didn't think twice when asked if she thought XRP could reach $10,000. Without a doubt, it will. She gave a reason. At this point, XRP is in the same early stage as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some people laughed when Bitcoin hit $1,000 and Ethereum hit $5. But for people who trusted their gut, those early bets became legends. Xena bought Bitcoin for $200 to $600 and Ethereum for $5, even though some people didn't believe in them, and it paid off. She thinks that XRP gives her a similar chance today. Xena is aware of the doubters, but she doesn't let them change her mind. She talks about bearable guy, a mysterious figure in the XRP community who thinks XRP is still way too cheap. Even Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, two leaders at Ripple, agreed with this point of view. Xena also talks about small trends in the XRP community, such as the number 589 showing up over and over again. Some people see this as a sign of Ripple's plans. She even talks about Arthur Brito, one of the founders of Ripple, who is said to have said that XRP was designed to hit $10,000. These big predictions are, of course, based on crazy numbers. From its current price, XRP would have to go up by over 456,000% to $10,000. This would put its market cap at an incredible $590 trillion, which is a lot more than the current world M2 money supply of about $90 trillion. People who are very good at investing would stop and blink at that number. In the world of crypto, however, history shows that rises that seem impossible aren't completely impossible. What's really interesting about XRP is that it has support from the community, from business leaders, and from real-world use. The direction of the token shows a market that is both passionate and looking to the future, even if the $10,000 goal stays out of reach. As Xena says, there will always be critics, but what sets believers apart from doubters is their focus on the signs that matter. Right now, those signs point to XRP's huge potential growth. We can't stop here, though, because Ripple is more than just guessing prices. Some big partnerships are slowly coming together behind the scenes. Trust me, what's going on is the most bullish sign the market has seen in years. Keep reading because this could change everything for XRP. As a result, XRP is beginning to make noise not only on trade charts, but also in the halls of central banks. The crypto community is very excited about a new working paper from Bank Negara M, Malaysia. It is part of their July 2025 study series. Smoke, a crypto researcher, pointed out important parts of the paper that make the case for how private tokens like XRP could one day be used in. The working paper even looks at hybrid solutions that combine account-based payment systems with distributed ledger technology. This shows an idea that XRP could live alongside traditional money, connecting the old and new financial worlds. What does this have to do with the price of XRP? The token's demand could go up a lot if companies, payment processors, or even central banks start using it around the world. If XRP were to become a real currency that could be used to send money across countries, it would be very useful. In contrast to dealing on speculation, this kind of real-world use adds structural value to the network. As more people and businesses hold XRP to make payments possible, the amount in circulation decreases, pushing the price higher. Also, talking about XRP in a central bank study setting could have an effect on regulators in other nations, which could speed up adoption in those places. In the past, when central banks recognized the value of a digital asset, it often led to more market trust and money coming in from institutional investors. When you think about this, along with XRP's current momentum, community excitement, and strategic relationships, the picture becomes even more compelling. When we talk about XRP, we have to talk about what the whales are doing. You should come here because there's a lot to see. These big players are quietly gathering millions of XRP coins behind the scenes. Their actions could be paving the way for a huge pump. Wait a minute, because what's next could make the market completely different. So, investors and experts are once again interested in what whales are doing in the XRP market. Sentiment data shows that XRP whales sold about 160 million coins, which is equal to 480 million in just 2 weeks. Their total shares reached a high point of 6.95 billion XRP at that time, but soon fell to about 6.77 billion. These whales, who usually have between 1 million and 10 million tokens, can have a huge effect on market mood and price direction just by the size of their moves. It's interesting that this trend isn't just seen in smaller whales. Since the beginning of the month, people who own 10 million to 100 million XRP have been slowly selling them. As a result, the total number of coins held has dropped from 8.1 billion to about 7.77 billion. Even bigger whales, those who owned between 100 million and 1 billion XRP, started selling as early as July. By August, their shares had dropped from 10.83 billion to 7.9